welcome back. Just taking a look at our own van again. A few little wiring issues. I have had on running various things I've been trying to suss out since we put it on the road. So I've kind of been adding relays and this and that, and really what I need to do, not doing it just yet, but I've ordered a new ECU. I have a new ECU for it. I just need to get the immobilizer removed, and then I want to simplify the wiring that I did now that I understand it a bit better. We've got a lot of relays and I can reduce that down to one. Fault codes, I don't have any right now, but I've been having a bit of a trouble with a fault code for fuel stop solenoid, which I believe could be the fuel temperature sensor. Now the reason I didn't put the reason I don't think it's a fuel stop solenoid issue is that, well, I've replaced the fuel stop solenoid, but that is not powered by the ECU, which in turn could probably be giving me the issues that I'm having with it. Now it's not powered by the ECU because my ECU wasn't giving any power to it, nor is it giving any power to the glow plug light. It's only giving a couple of volts to each, and I'm pretty sure the ECU needs replacing. Also, how I'm powering my ECU and how my ECU is powering the relays currently is wrong. I need to rewire that so that the ECU is switching on everything, which I'll do with the new ECU. For now, what I'm doing is I put my old fuel temperature sensor back in yesterday because the new one was giving me like minus 4.5 degrees or something, which is clearly wrong. This one seems to be reading right again now, but the issue I'm having there is you can start the van, you can drive it for hours if you want, and no problem, but if you switch it off, when you restart it, it does that thing where it revs up to about 2000 RPM, gives a puff of smoke, and it's basically in limp mode for the rest of your drive, and the only way to get out of it is to stop the van for 15-20 minutes, and then you can carry on as normal, which is clearly is a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm hoping maybe that's rectified. I'll see now whether that fuel sensor makes a difference or not. The other thing is I had a relay backfeeding. I don't know, I changed the relay. I had a problem with the stop solenoid relay, gave trouble last week and it wouldn't start a couple of times, and it turned out to be the fuel stop solenoid wasn't switching on. So I changed the relay, and for some reason that relay was refusing to disconnect and flatten my battery. So I've just put a new battery in it as well, so I don't want to destroy that. So I'm putting in a kill switch for now, and anytime it's I've sorted the issue, the relay is switching off again, but whenever I'm putting the van away for a few days, I'm going to turn the battery off. I can plug in the mains to charge up my leisure battery and everything, but the engine battery is a little bit more awkward. The other thing is, when it drained the other day, it actually flattened my leisure battery as well, which I didn't think it could do when it was switched off, so that's still a bit bewildering to me. But yeah, I'll just give you a little show of the wiring here. It does have to be tidied, but that's going to take me a few days, and I need that ECU unlocked, or just the immobilizer set to off on it, which I can't do myself. So I need to send that off and get it done. I have the ECU with ages, but yeah, I'll show you. So now I apologise to the people who quite enjoy all this wiring carry on. I like things neat and tidy. This isn't up to my standards. That's just a lead there. I'm running a new negative terminal from a battery to a kill switch, so I can switch that power off. In here I have 3 relays, which I end up messing with all the time. As you can see, they're a bit of a disaster. So this one is my fuel stop solenoid, and it does one other thing as well, which I can't remember, possibly sensors. This one is my ECU, and then I've got these 2. They're actually just the brake switch. Now I tried them with a 6-pin relay, 5-pin relay, and I thought maybe it was picking up a discrepancy in the delay, and it was giving me a problem on startup and high idling and things like that. What the problem actually was the pentiometer. What do you call it? Pentiometer. that was faulty from day one since I put the engine in. I ordered a new one. Tick over was perfect. It was giving me a high tick over. You'd have to press the brake pedal whenever you kind of came back to a standstill and blip the throttle at the same time, and that would bring it back down to a low idle. So yeah, straight away what I noticed was when I had it on VAGCOM that was coming back to 1%, not 0. And if I just pressed it a little to bring it to 0, it would throw a code and the engine would come up to its 1000 RPM. You know, you kind of get you home mode. Whenever there's a throttle fault, the engine will idle back up to 1000. So I thought that was a limp mode at first, but it's not. Any problem with your throttle will automatically go to no throttle response and the engine will idle up. And what it'll do is you can kind of go up through the gears. It'll give you a bit of power, so every time you strain the engine it'll increase power, which can get you moving. It actually brought me all the way uphill home here one day. It'll pull away and everything, but you can't accelerate. That was mainly to do with faults I had in the wire that leads around there. But yeah, now this is a bit disconnected, but it looks a little less tidy. So that was a glow plug relay. Everything's fused. It's all, it's all okay. It's just a bit messy. And they're sending power around here to do these various things. So what I want is I've actually already bought a bigger relay to do everything. The brakes, which will go back on a 6-pin relay or 5-pin relay, and I'll neat and tidy it all up there. It's just about getting cables the right length and stuff. The other thing I want to do right now, the second, is extend my diagnostics cable up out of the engine bay, because it's a complete nuisance having it in there. Really, I'd like it all the way up to the front, but it's not that easy to run stuff up to the front in these. So yeah, and I've just bought one of those regular kind of kill switches for it, just so I can switch it off when it's not in use. Now, just go over a few other bits that are going to be going ahead with this shortly. Well, maybe not shortly, but I'll get to them. Right, now, as I mentioned before, I was having that little bit of vibration at certain RPMs. It's definitely a power curve kind of an issue, because since I've changed my turbo actuator, I was getting overboost a lot. So the actuator I had actually wasn't working. So I've managed to find the right actuator for it and got all that set up, so I wasn't having overboost issues anymore. And it also decreased the lag a little bit, so I wasn't getting such a problem down in those gears, but it still does vibrate at certain RPMs. So I'm going to go back sooner or later to the TDI box, the one that came with the engine. Now, buying from the UK for us now is fairly prohibitive. A lot of stuff isn't getting here, and the duty and shipping and courier's charges on top of everything is a complete disaster. So I couldn't just go buying spacers. I mean, Ultimate Engineering's CV adapters are like £190 plus shipping and stuff. So I drew up my own ones. I took that's the cop out, the TDI CV box, the TDI gearbox. If you remember, mine has 100mm round CVs on that petrol box. So I didn't need these, I just needed a spacer. So I took a broken CV joint and that down to the engineering place, and they had made these up for me. Now, I got 2 sets. Those are actually, there's a problem with those ones. We'll go through that in a second. But they made me up. I got 2 sets because I intend on doing more of these. So next time I want one, we'll see how all these are going, and then I can just drop them in and say, I need these, quick, make me a pair. It worked out a lot less. I got 2 sets made from scratch for less than, it's somewhere around €250, so it wasn't bad. Now I understand they have to make a profit on them, and it's okay if you're in the UK, you're not paying all that extra stuff on top of it, but for me it didn't make sense. So what we have is, they've made, so that'll sit into, oh, that's the other thing actually, I'm not sure if their ones have the do you call those? For centering. Anyway, that'll sit in to that. If I put it there now, it'll get stuck. They're actually pretty snug. And then he's counterbored these so I can bolt straight into it, no grinding back the bolts and stuff. He was going to leave, I can't remember the name of those things, on here to center that, but there was a mistake made there. So what I have to do is, once that's bolted on in place, is fix this in here, and then that will center my CV joint. And that's my CV, I think that's the offside spacer, so you need a bit of space there for that one. And that'll all sit in there quite nicely and bolt up. And as for the other one, he actually made a mistake on these, in that he machined them out. It's great. Oh, these are all quite tight. That sits in there perfectly, but let's see, 1 second, I have to take this out because they're quite tight in there. So that will sit in there nicely, but as you can see, there's no way to bolt it in place. Now, they've kind of said it's no problem to just weld that in. You could probably even kind of drill them and put just kind of a locator pin in it. But I think the majority of the work has gone into these ones. So if I can go in and spend maybe just €100 or something and get these remade in a larger diameter with these holes bored, I think I'd be happier to do that. And then CV joint in there. So that's kind of minimum spacing. You don't want to move that shaft out too much. But that'll take care of the CV adapters for them anyway. And I think they're, quite nicely done. These are all tapped for the CV joint bolts. No tapping in those because they thread straight into the CV cup. So at some point I've got to get that other gearbox cut down, and I want to buy a new clutch as well, so while it's out I'm going to fit a new clutch, but we'll make use of these pretty quick anyway. With regards to our van, it's due a service now. It's got about 5,000 miles. We did a 600-mile round trip of months ago and done 47 miles to the gallon, which is pretty awesome. That gearbox maybe leaves it a little high revving at about 60. I'm going to the TDI one will sort that out, and the breather on the gearbox needs improving because I do lose gear oil when you're kind of doing motorway speeds or whatever. Get a little bit of oil on the back of the van. It throws a bit out the little breather because I guess it doesn't have a baffle like it would if it was the right way up. Got the ARP awning on there now. Actually quite impressed with it when we got to use it, that is. Like I said, I've spoken about those brackets. I'll go through them in a little bit more detail. They need adjusting a little bit more because it's just kind of just rubbing the top of the doors. So I mean, as it, it's only going to wear things, wear the paint, pull the threads in there eventually. It's not much, it's just a little. I also have a parts fan there. I took the little armrests for the doors out of that. They're a nice addition. Our seats are a bit tired really. I'd like to change them, especially for something like a captain's seat, but yeah, they're so expensive. I kind of might wait till I see something nice show up and they'll get changed at that point. Right, well, I've succeeded in a few things. So now I've got my kill switch there. And nice and handy, just made a little stainless steel bracket and put some new cables. Pet peeve of mine, I absolutely hate seeing eave chute bolts on a car, or anything in a vehicle, but It's Saturday evening, everyone's closed. They have to do for now. I don't know why that annoys me so much, but it does. And as for the cable, see that blue cable running along there? I've just left, oh, you can't see that now. I've just got a coil of cable here now with my OBD2 port on it. I've tucked it up there. I can uncoil it and reel it into the van a bit if I want to extend it forward while I'm driving or anything, and stick the laptop on the floor. That'll be quite handy because I just haven't been able to do that. It's just been dangling around there. And as well, keep the plug in somewhere nice and dry. Yeah, it's something done anyway for a crappy afternoon. Now, this video was actually made a month or two ago. I wasn't sure I was ever going to bother putting it up, but I'm a little bit behind on the painting of the other van. So while I catch up, there's this. The other van, hopefully, I'm kind of aiming to have that video ready for Christmas Day. So we're hoping to get it all painted this weekend. And yeah, the roof has to come off the other van. It's ready to go. Just get it washed, get it in here, sand it down and get that painted as well. So I'll be getting on with all of that this week. And yeah, we'll try and get that up by then. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And I will speak to you next time. Cheers. Thank you very much.